How we doing, folks? Welcome to the second episode of Black Swamp Media. I am the producer, co-host. I'm not going to take host position. That belongs to the person to my left here, Brett Batman. Yeah, we'll just go Batman Brett.
Yes. Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
A little closer, Brett. I don't think the people are actually.
Hello.
There we go. That works. Get some good mics here. We're starting off here. Actually, if you're just tuning in and watching this from the start, you see a little chessboard in front of you right at this moment. Me and Brett are playing chess.
Strategies.
Yeah, pretty much. This is a mental game. Trust me. If you know how to play this game and actually can play and know what you're doing and actually throw it out there and can play this game mentally against somebody else, this proves what your mind is capable of, because this is a strategy game. People play this around the world for prestige.
Game of Kings.
Yeah, this game is interesting. I'm glad I learned it when I was younger. A little bit better than checkers. Checkers is a child's game.
I learned in jail. I learned how to play chess in jail.
Whatever you learn in jail, I mean, they're all good. I can't remember when I learned it, honestly. I learned playing on a computer, playing against a computer, setting the setting to the hardest setting and see if you could win and getting your ass whipped in 3 to 4 moves. Teaches you a little thing. Then you go back to easy and then whip the computer's ass.
But see, that's where everybody messes up, man. It's like with life. You always want to start out with it's hard and try to get your ass in there.
Exactly.
But once you start out,
you learn some stuff with that.
But you should also start out, strategically and make your moves, plan your out game, your end game, what's going to happen. You gotta really plan your future, the kids' future, everything, every future you have it going, because it's like they say, a game.
It pretty much is. Life is a game. What was that we just heard?
Know.
That was a squeak. Somebody opened the door around here somewhere.
Stop making noise.
Who's coming through? We're trying to record here, and we got the youngins running around thinking they're off in school so they can stay up till all hours of the night.
The whole thing about chess, though, that I feel, and I'm not an expert, but my mentality state is it's a way to relax your mind and make your mind focus on something else and think about something else and be strategic. And if you can do that in a game, you can do that in life. You know what I mean? It's all about strategic moves. It's always about putting yourself in a situation, but always looking for the next move, the next outcome, the next situation. You can't never go into life blind, because if you do, you're going to end up.
And with that, though, you have your moves planned out a little ahead of time. But depending on what your opponent decides to do, instantly changes. Brett made a move here earlier, and I look and go, yeah, shit, okay, well, that takes away what I can do here.
Your turn or mine?
I think it's
Yours.
Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so while Brett talks here, I'm gonna make a decision. Look at this board, because I haven't really paid attention, which is something you'd never want to do in life either. Is stop paying attention. Always got to pay attention. Always got to be ready to go. But I haven't paid attention, so I really don't know where my pieces sit and how this whole thing's gonna come out. Nobody's taking nothing. I think I'm gonna go ahead and sacrifice a couple pieces here.
See, if you think about it, it's just like that in life. If you don't pay attention, then your moves are gonna get checked and taken. Your pieces, your family, your people. You know what I mean? It's all about.
Oh yeah, it's all about planning and yeah, sometimes your plan doesn't come through, because like I said, I move, I have a plan. Okay, this is gonna be my next move here or there. Even if he moves a couple pieces on the board, but he moves a certain piece, now I gotta come back and change my strategy.
Exactly.
Change how I'm doing something. So well, if he's gonna leave me with that, we'll just go ahead and pop one off.
It's gonna go right back at you.
Yeah, not a problem. That's why they call them pawns, folks.
Exactly.
They're there to be disposable. It's the other chess pieces that really win the game for you.
You want to take that bitch out already?
Yeah, something like that. No. Wait, which bitch?
I thought you were going for your queen, my bad.
No. She's still sitting there. I wish I would have played that better. I could have castled my king, but that's a move for another time. I've already moved it where it doesn't work out too well.
If you guys don't know how to play chess, it's a very good game to try to understand and try to play.
Trust me, there's
I'm just learning as well. Some chess
I'm
games
still-
last for days.
I'm still learning. I remember back in the day before, I mean, the fact that we can come to you over the internet to countries across the world. I have friends in Germany that listen, or I at least want them to listen, so I give them the link and stuff. But back in the day before computers and everything, back in the 60s, 70s, I mean, even early 1920s and 30s, people would play chess with two different boards across the world and send letters to each other because there's keys to this. There's
Yes, there are.
there's each square has its own letter and everything, and you write it down, you give the move, then you send it off in the mail. That person receives it, moves your piece accordingly, and then sits there and figures out their move. Once they move, they write it down and send it back. I mean, people used to play chess this way. Actually do it long term over with people they didn't really even know in other countries, which is, I mean, the very start of social interaction worldwide, which is a beautiful thing. Ah, damn.
That or
I really
Game
don't
is
know
a
what to
war.
do. Oh, yeah.
Either way, it could be looked at. You know, what was that movie that was out with that guy that played in Ferris Bueller's Days Off? What was that?
I don't know because I never watched Ferris Bueller's
It was
Day
a
Off.
movie. It was when they had all the
really
nuclear codes.
don't
It was
know.
being run. It was being run by a computer,
And by computer.
and it was all about a game. And the computer couldn't
No,
play the game.
there's a lot of them like that. There's actually, I don't know if you ever heard of the game Ocello.
Yes.
It's a Chinese.
Who's that guy who played in Ferris Bueller?
I don't know. You're asking me a movie I've never seen, Brett. Come on now. And hearing about
War
a few.
Games. War Games. You ever seen it?
No, actually, I haven't.
Are you shitting me?
I stopped watching film after about 2002.
Before that, it was like 1999, 98,
no.
Cold War time.
Actually, honestly, no, I've never seen it. Like that. I did film and photography and visual graphics in college, and it's ruined my mind when I watch shit because I critique it, I pick it apart, and it sucks. It really does. College ruined my mental mind to enjoy some things. It is your move, by the way. Yeah. Don't hit the mic, Brett.
Sorry.
Head in there, leaning in.
Your move. Strategy, folks. Strategy.
Oh, it is. It's a mental game. I like playing. Hell, I'm not a sore loser at this game either because, frankly, I'm still learning, but I've played it quite a bit.
As long as you're not a loser at a game of life.
No, everybody eventually loses at the game of life. We all die.
True talk.
I'm just saying, we're all going to lose one day. Just how long you play it is up, not even up to you, which we'll get into that discussion here a little later tonight. One of the topics we want to talk about. Son of a bitch. I really don't know what to... Honestly, Brett, you got me in a... I don't know. Actually, let's do this. I like this one.
Conundrum?
Nah, not really. Not really. I said I'm good at this game. I'm just not great at this game.
Me too.
Something like that. Yeah, so I hope you guys are enjoying our little game here. Something different. You bastard. Not the move I wanted you to make.
Take him if you want.
The move.
Take him if you want.
I know. I was hoping you would have used your castle to take him so I could take your castle.
I know.
God, I really don't know. I really don't. Oop, no, I'm running into the microphone. These things have some good pickup, I can tell you that much.
Yes, they do.
Which is funny because we're not more than about 3 feet apart from each other, but my mic doesn't pick up Brett, and Brett's mic doesn't really pick up me. Was that your move?
Yes.
Okay. It's weird. We're giving you pauses right now because we're more concentrated in the
On the
game than
game. Sorry
actually.
about
It's
that,
actually
yeah.
talking to you folks. I mean, it takes mental capacity here to try to do one, come across and talk like this, and two, try to play a game of chess all at the same time. it's a little difficult, but it's fun for us. And like I said, we're doing all this for fun for us. You want to listen, you want to watch, you want to be entertained, go right ahead. We're going to do what we do here. I had my golf partner tonight tell me I'm stupid and wasting my time doing what we're doing right now. I'm thinking, why wasting my time? I'm sitting here with a good friend of mine, great friend of mine, basically a brother. We're sitting here talking,
Yes, sir.
sitting here talking bullshit and playing a game of chess. How's this a waste of my time? I mean, then what else would we be doing? We're drinking.
Having fun and being mentally stimulating.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm pushing my mind at one time is it going on midnight, whatever. We do this late because we have other things to do throughout the day. And here, I got you, brother. We'll pass this across the chessboard. There you go, folks. That's a lighter.
Sure move.
I know it is. I just don't know how I want to move. And honestly, I don't, Brett. You got me in a small little pickle right now. I'll go ahead and put him there. Just because I honestly don't know what I'm doing right now. Hey, Brett. I might actually lose this game, folks. And I don't like losing too much. The last one we played, I won, but it took us, what, about a good 20, 25 minutes to finish it? Mm-hmm. It was a good 20, 25 minutes to finish the game. Go ahead and pull him back there. And if you think we're playing this wrong and wanna call us out on it, go right ahead. I don't care. We're playing it our way right now. Yeah, we know simple rules. Couple moves. God damn, why do you have one of my pieces, your pieces over there?
I don't know. I thought it was mine.
Weren't you right there? You just moved them there. You're good.
Good?
You're good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Damn son of a bitch. I might have to start. Don't want to pull him there. Don't want to pull him there. We'll pull him there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, might as well. That's fine. That is fine. Yeah, it starts moving a little quicker once you start taking over some pieces.
The king can go all the way down either way, right?
The king can only move one space
Anywhere.
direction. That'll work. I really don't know how I want to play this. Yeah, folks, this is quite interesting. I mean, we haven't. It's been. Oh shit! I left that wide open. Wasn't paying attention, folks. Wasn't paying attention. I am gonna pay attention though. Get rid of him. And then I expect you to. Sometimes you try to get in your opponent's head and actually see what's going on and figure stuff out and go from there. So far, we've been playing this for over 14 minutes because that's what we've recorded so far, but we started the game early. If you didn't notice coming in, that's my piece. That's my piece. That's okay. You just can't move my piece. As long as you do not let go of your piece, you can test out some options.
Check.
Check means you have your king is going to be taken on the next move unless you move or block.
You can move straight down or over across, right?
And then you can always straight down or straight over. So you can do that. That saves your king. And
Right.
that does save your king. I mean, I ain't stupid enough to take your. I take that and
The queen's out.
you still check. You got to block or you got to. I still win. Check. Still check. So you can't do that. You either have to move him out of check or move a piece there to block.
What's my man? I'm sorry, right there.
That works. I'm gonna take her out of the way.
Okay.
This is pretty interesting. I know we're not talking a lot, folks. This is a game of chess. Most of the time it's quiet. You just don't talk at all. Can't do that. That
Why?
piece doesn't move that way. It moves diagonal. You can't do that either.
Why?
That piece was right there. You move there. That piece was there.
He was there?
She can go here. She can go here. She can go all the way down. She can go this way. She can't go to that
Put
spot.
it back.
Yeah.
But he can go backwards, right?
Yep.
The horse?
Yep. That move is allowed. Son of a bitch. Killing me, bro. You're fucking killing me. There. This is a pretty messed up game right now. Thank you. Oh shit, I should have told you you're in check. My bad. This is my bad. You're in check by that guy.
Do I?
Because I can take your king.
You can. But my dude can go back and take him.
No, but once I take your king, game over.
I thought it was the queen.
King. That's why the queen can move everywhere.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was the king. I'm so
No,
sorry.
you want to take the person's king.
Alright, so I go back then.
Yep, that works. Actually, no, I can't move there either. You can move there. Ooh, lovely. 1, 2, 3, checkmate. Oh, no, it's not checkmate. Never mind. No, it's not. No, it's not. Still check. There you go. Go ahead. Almost thought I had him, folks. Almost thought I had him.
Check.
Not check.
Uh,
He's on that spot. I'm getting there, folks. Don't worry. A few more moves and this game should be over with.
so,
Very much. Like I said, we're going on 20 minutes of playing. Like I said, you missed about the first 5 to 6 minutes of this game. Which is fine. We record here and then we'll break into the actual show. Thought we'd give you a little preview. We're going to be talking about the First Amendment and probably some religion. Check. There's only one move you can make.
not really.
No, I guess there is more than one. But you got to move some stuff. Yes, folks. Yeah, we're not talking because we're very concentrated and Brett doesn't want to lose. That's my piece. Pretty much there's only 2 moves you can make. Move your king back to where he was or move your... Nope, still can't do it. I said check.
Where?
Check.
Oh, my king's, but I gotta watch out for it.
Yeah, so you can either move him back or move that piece there. Those are pretty much your only 2 moves. And I'm glad you did that because now we're in checkmate. Now we're in checkmate. You can't move that king or put your piece anywhere that doesn't. No? Yes, you can. It's 1 move you can make. Nope. Oh, damn. More than one. No. She takes him. You can't move there.
She go all the way down the
She
queen.
can go all the way. The only move you can make is him there.
Or
It's the only move you can make. Only move you can make. Because your king going there, I win. King going there, I win. King goes there, I win. King goes there, I win. So your king cannot move. The only piece is to put him there and block that piece. Which after that, it's checkmate. I'm letting you know it is. There's no other move you can make. You can't. There's no other move you can make.
yes, there is. Hold
No,
on.
there's not.
There's always another move.
No, there's not. Not this time. I've got you. It's mine. Nope. Because he's there, and I still take him with that. Like I said, you're done for. It's over, Brett. Concede. It's over.
My queen can go anywhere, right?
Diagonal, straight, or sideways. Your queen can't do nothing. Queen can't do nothing to block, nothing to do anything. The only move you can make is him there. And it takes it out, and it's not checkmate, but my next move is checkmate. Guaranteed. I've won. Game over. I know, you want to keep looking at it and think there's another way. There's not. Thank you. Checkmate. Game over.
No.
Game over.
No.
Yeah. There's 0 spots that king can move and or any of your pieces defend him at all. Even if he takes my queen, I still win. Even if he takes my queen, I still win. Game over.
Wait.
Checkmate.
No, wait.
Checkmate. That is checkmate, folks. Trust me, you can see it on the video. That's checkmate. Game over. He doesn't want to concede. Checkmate. Done. 0 moves. None whatsoever. Game over.
Wait.
Game over.
Stop.
Game over. You just don't want to concede, Brett. Game over. Game over. Game over. I'm going to stop this audio and save it so we actually have it. Game over, Brett. Just say it.
No, wait.
Game over. Checkmate. Checkmate. Checkmate.
Stop. Saying it.
But it is. Just waiting. Waiting for him to concede the game because I have won. We'll do this again, folks. Don't worry. We'll pull this back out. Give Brett a chance to redeem himself. Even if you take the queen, game over. Queen takes you still.
Oh,
Game over. Checkmate.
All
Cool.
right,
Thanks,
good
folks.
game.
Yeah, good game, Brett. Nice
Good game. Good game, bro. I had to look at the whole thing.
I know you did.
not sure
Okay.
'cause,
Okay, we're gonna save this. We'll come back in a second, folks, and we'll talk First Amendment and maybe get into some religion. Who knows what's gonna be about.
Boom, 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 DB, boom, boom, DB Entertainment, DB, boom, boom, DB, boom, boom, DB, boom, boom, DB Entertainment, boom, 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 boom.
How we doing, folks? We're back. We got done with our chess game. Now we're going to talk a little First Amendment here for about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to play a little audio clip that's about 6 minutes long. Kind of lays out the First Amendment pretty well, better than what I can do and read out of my little pocket constitution I carry around with me.
First thing first, he forgot to introduce us.
Well, we're just back, Brett.
We
We're
are.
back.
We are. BS Media, but we are not about BS. Okay.
That stands for Black Swamp,
Simple
not
as
BS.
that. Not BS. We don't bullshit. We don't.
I mean, we bullshit.
We bullshit
sometimes,
around, but when we're talking to you guys about serious things, we're not bullshit.
No. We're gonna get some facts. We're gonna get some things now. What I'm about ready to play is from PBS creation. It's called Crash Course. It's Crash Course Government and Politics.
Okay.
About 9 minutes here, so that'd be a good time. We got about 6 minutes of this audio, so we'll be good there. Yeah, it's Crash Course Government and Politics. The guy on here lays out the First Amendment pretty well. Tells you, kind of breaks it
That
down.
only gives us 3 minutes to say what we gotta say.
No, my internet goes down in 9 minutes. We can keep recording after that.
Okay,
So
alright.
I just lose connection to the internet here in about 9 minutes, at least all I can use. So we're gonna go ahead and turn this over to Craig. His name's Craig. He does a pretty good job here, and we'll see what we can do here.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Craig, and this is Crash Course Government and Politics, and today we're talking about free speech. Finally, today we can let loose and establish the kinds of things we can say to criticize our government, like the crazy idea that money and speech are the same thing. Not so fast, clone. The Supreme Court has ruled that spending money, at least in the political context, is speech. You do have the right to criticize that decision, though, unless your boss or YouTube says that you can't. All right, we're trying to talk about free speech. Shut up. Let's get started and see if we can figure out what the limits of free speech are, assuming that there are some. There aren't. That's a lie. But I'm free to say that.
Yeah, he does a pretty
There are
good
two
job
really
here,
important
folks.
things to remember about the First Amendment protection of free speech. The primary reason to have freedom of speech is to allow for public criticism of the stupid government. Stupid government. That's the sort of thing that can land you in jail in countries that don't have strong free speech protections. Or should I say, you would be Putin jail. Don't put me in jail. Oh, that's right, I'm in the U.S., it doesn't matter. The stories of
that's a
oversensitive
good pun.
kings and dictators silencing people who question their rule or even make jokes at their expense are too numerous to recount. But for the most part, that kind of thing doesn't happen in the U.S., which is why no one gets arrested for carrying around a giant picture of Obama as Hitler, or former President Bush as a monkey. Well, that stuff's okay as far as the First Amendment is concerned, but that doesn't mean it's respectful or in good taste. The second thing to remember is that the First Amendment protects you from the government doing things that try to deny your speech, but not anyone else. What this means is that you don't have an absolute right to say whatever you want, wherever you want, to whomever you want, and not suffer any consequences. Isn't that right, Stan? You
I
dingus?
know I can suffer consequences. Ha ha
Fired?
ha.
I was just kidding. It
So
was
I
a joke.
can
If you work
still
for a
say what
private
I want,
company, your
when I
boss
want,
can
and how I
certainly
want.
fire you for saying mean things about them or revealing company secrets, and you don't have any First Amendment claim against them. Unless, of course, your boss is the government or a branch of the government, in which case you might be able to claim a First Amendment right. See, like most things, it's complicated. Among the speech that is protected, not all of it has the same level of protection under the First Amendment. Now let's exercise our right to free thought bubble. The speech that gets the strongest protection is political speech. Criticism of, but also praise for particular officials, their parties, or their policies is usually protected. It's given what is called preferred position, which means that any law or regulation or executive act that limits political speech is almost always struck down by courts. The big case that made pretty much the final decision on political speech was Brandenburg versus Ohio in 1968. In this case, a Ku Klux Klan Klan leader was making a speech that, as you can imagine, was offensive to a lot of people and could have been considered threatening too. The court ruled that because the speech was political, it was protected by the First Amendment, no matter how outrageous it was. The court said, the constitutional guarantees of free speech and free press do not permit a state to forbid or prescribe advocacy of the use of force or of law violation, except where such advocacy is directed to inciting or producing imminent action and is likely to produce such action. According to the court, the First Amendment protects speech even if it advocates the use of force or
It's like
encourages
saying
people
kill
to
'em.
violate the law. So you can advocate overthrowing the government or not paying your taxes as much as you want, unless what you say is likely to produce the thing you're advocating, overthrowing the government, say. And it is likely to happen imminently, meaning very soon after you make the statement. This case limited an older standard regarding free speech that was put forward in the case U.S. versus Schenck in 1917. In that case, Schenck distributed pamphlets urging people to avoid the draft for World War I. This was a violation of the Espionage Act, which made it a crime to obstruct the draft or the war effort. The law was more complicated than that, but that's the basic gist. In his decision on this case, Oliver Wendell Holmes wrote that when that speech presents a clear and present danger, the state can then abridge that person's speech. Memorably, he explained that the First Amendment does not protect a person who shouts fire in a crowded theater. In later cases, Holmes limited this idea, largely because it gives the government a lot of leeway to say what kind of speech creates danger, especially during a war, as was the case with Schenck. Thanks, Thought Bubble. Political speech isn't the only type of speech that the courts have addressed. Symbolic speech can also be protected by the First Amendment, and if that symbolic speech has political content, it usually is protected. Symbolic speech includes wearing armbands, carrying signs, or even wearing a jacket with an obscene word directed at the military draft. Symbolic speech also includes burning an American flag, which pretty much is always a political message. Not all symbolic speech is protected, though. For example, if you're a high school student who holds up a banner that reads "Bong Hits for Jesus" at a school-sponsored function, don't expect that the First Amendment will
That
prevent the
actually
school,
happened.
a government agent, from suspending you. And yes, that really happened. Also, this is not symbolic speech. That's violence. Even hate speech is protected, even if it's really hateful, like burning a cross on a person's lawn, although this might be prosecuted as vandalism or trespassing. Public universities that try to punish hate speech have seen their discipline codes struck down. Commercial speech may not be protected, but if it's a political commercial, it will be. And as we've pointed out before, spending money on political campaigns has been determined to be speech that is protected by the First Amendment. Although we shall see donations to political campaigns are still treated differently, at least for now. Pretty much the only kind of speech that's not protected, other than speech that's likely to incite immediate violence, is what's called fighting words. In the actual case that dealt with fighting words, Chaplinsky versus
Fighting
New
words.
Hampshire, the defendant uttered what seemed more like insults than a call to engage in fisticuffs. What'd you call me? Still, the court ruled that some words were so insulting that they were more than likely to result in a fight. So fighting words are not protected speech. One thing to note, though, the fighting words free speech exception is almost never used. So as you can see, the First Amendment pretty much protects you from the government throwing you in jail or otherwise punishing you for what you say in most instances. But it's important to remember that the First Amendment is not unlimited. Most important, it only protects you from government action, not the action of private people, especially your employers. One final example might make this clear. In Pickering versus Board of Education, a public school teacher wrote a letter to the editor of his local paper complaining about the way that the school board was spending money on the schools. He didn't write it on school time or using school paper or email, especially since it was 1968 and there was no email. The school board, or his principal, fired him. He brought the case to the Supreme Court, claiming that he was fired for his speech, which was political in nature, criticizing local government, and not for anything related to his job performance. And he won. But the only reason he was able to get his job back is that his employer was the government, so it was the government that punished him for speaking out. For most of us, complaining about our employer's policies may get us fired, and unless we are government employees, we can't claim that it violated our First Amendment rights. The First Amendment, like all of the amendments, is meant to protect us from an overreaching government. There are other types of laws that help us deal with individuals who do things that we think are wrong, but we'll talk about those in another episode. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
So basically, I can say, fuck Trump. He's a fucking moron.
Right.
He's an idiot. And I can't get in trouble. Now, can I say that about other people? I can. But there could be repercussions.
Right.
There could be other things. I mean, the freedom of speech still gives me the right to freely speak.
But when you say that to an individual, you
Yeah.
are
Well, yeah,
violence.
but well, no, I'm not trying to insult.
Inciting violence, though.
I'm not
What
trying
do you think
to.
What do you think's gonna say something to somebody if you say
Yeah.
fuck you?
Well, what happened to sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That phrase kind of went away here over the last 15 to 20 years.
Right.
Just let it roll off your back. Who gives a shit what somebody says? I mean, people take what people say way too A, literally, and B, too personally a lot of times. True?
If somebody says fuck you and fuck your mom, how can you not take it personally?
Well, that is personal because they said fuck you and fuck your mom.
Or fuck you.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, cool. Fuck you too. See ya.
But it's still personal.
But I'd look at him and go, "Fuck you too." And
But it's
then
still personal.
I wouldn't get all up in arms and everything
But
else.
if you did, you'd have the right because it was a personal attack.
Okay, we'll bring up one that I'm gonna say, and I might get a lot of heat over this because of the word. It's the word retarded. This word, just like the N word or any other word, any of the slang words to degrade a civilization. Hell, redneck kind of is on the line of the N word to me. I mean, it's on the line because when most people say it, they're not using it in that sense. They're using it in another sense. But for the most part, you're free to say what you want. You're free. You are free in this country under the First Amendment to say what you want. You're not free against some consequences of what might actually come about for what you say. Now, if somebody jumps right into violence and wanting to fight you and that you should choke and die and all this other stuff, I mean, they're taking it way too personally, and B, just are the ones that are jumping into the violent act and everything else. I used the word retarded. I didn't call anybody retarded. Actually, the person I called retarded was Donald.
But it's a derogatory word.
I called Donald Trump and the Republican Party retarded.
That's political.
Exactly. Now, I had people jump down my throat about it, that I shouldn't use the word, I'm like, well, I used it in the right sense. I used it in the right context. I used it in the definition that it basically calling Donald Trump and the Republican Party slowed down and retarded. retard, to slow down. It's a term that's used in music. It's a term that's used in automotive. I mean, they use it that way. But people saw the word, looked at the word itself, didn't take it in context, didn't take it the way I was using it, and jumped over the use of that word, period. Well, no, I'm not. At that point, I got really defensive, and because of the fact that I normally, when it comes to fighting, I like debate style, where rather than fists and everything else, let's use some intellect. Let's use some dialogue. Let's talk. Let's talk about this and actually get it out there. They jumped right to, oh, if I see you, I'm gonna put my fist down your throat. I'm gonna make you.
Well, you
choke.
gotta realize you were talking about
be...
somebody's child. That was a personal attack.
No, I was not. I was not talking
What
when I used the word. I called Donald Trump and the Republican Party retarded.
And they said they had a retarded son, and that was
well,
wrong.
it's a family member of mine, and
Right.
they don't have. I would never use that word to describe this person. Is she mentally handicapped and disabled? Yes. Is she retarded? No. And that was the thing they couldn't understand, is the fact that I wasn't calling somebody retarded. I wasn't making fun of somebody that was slow or had a disability or actually had, what was it? It's not Asperger's. She has
Down syndrome.
Down syndrome and stuff like that.
So though, instead of saying that, instead of debating them though, and
I
going against them,
I tried to
But why
debate them on that, but they wanted to go straight to.
So what was yours? Why wouldn't you just say that? I understand how you feel about that,
tried
but
to.
I think those people under my definition of retarded is that under your definition of retarded, it might be something different. But just the definition of retarded is something, and so people have things like that. It is inflammatory. It is something that people will take advantage to, and it's a simple thing as, like you were saying, that people have to watch what they say, because that is not the freedom of speech when it incites.
But I wasn't doing it to incite panic. I was doing it politically. I was talking about the president and the Republican Party. That is a political speech.
You're right.
So right there, I'm protected by my First Amendment.
But what brought it up to make you say that they were retarded?
Because it was during the debate. I posted it on my own wall, on my own Facebook page, under everything. They just happen to be friends and see it.
Right.
So they read the word retarded, and they went to that word, and then they jumped over my shit, tried to throw some personal family stuff out there.
That's bullshit, because you was not talking directly to them.
No,
you was not
no,
saying
I wasn't.
anything wrong about
Never
them.
once
you was
was
saying
I.
something about
They just don't like the word.
They could have simply just turned off your fucking thing and not.
Oh, they did that eventually, but they tried. My one cousin tried. No, they didn't. No debate. They wanted to literally, and I have the text and the Facebook, everything. That he literally wanted to physically harm me.
So to him, you were inciting.
No, he was inciting because he physically wanted to harm me. I wasn't trying to incite nothing. I made a political post on my Facebook page, and he took it the wrong way and jumped down my shit.
And I must agree to you because freedom of speech gives you the right to say what you say. Now, how people take it, unless you talk to unless you talk about that person's family or them individually as that, then they shouldn't have a right to say that.
Never.
It'd be like somebody saying, me being stupid enough to say somebody about, and you guys don't know who I am, but somebody saying something about niggas, and then me getting mad because they was talking about these motherfuckers this, and they was niggas and shit like that. So
I gotta say,
anybody that has something to say about a race, then check yourself. Like they say, don't throw stones at glass houses. If you've never said, them white people do this, or I can't stand them, or them Chinese people, unless you've never said that, then you can't say anything about somebody that has their opinion.
I never brought this up on Facebook, but the person, one of my family members that jumped down my shit, is a big Second Amendment person. Loves his guns. But I never brought up the fact that, okay, it's okay for you to back the Second Amendment, but you're going to stomp on the First Amendment when it comes to something I say. He's highly racist. Highly racist.
Freedom of choice.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, I didn't tell him, oh, well, he was kind of being hypocritical that, okay, he hates people that say, oh, Second Amendment should be, your gun should be registered, this, that, and everything else. But yet, when it comes to my own First Amendment, he could care less about me being allowed to enact and actually have that right.
Well, you could actually, and you could just, as well as what he went and turned around and you and got violent about, you could say, well, I have a friend of mine whose niece got shot by a fucking gun that had unregistered and illegal and doing stuff like this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And all that. So fuck you and fuck guns and fuck all them motherfuckers, and that's my freedom of speech.
Oh, yeah.
And then what? So. And then you could be like, you know what, motherfucker, I want to kick your ass because you think guns are legal. Well, but I know somebody that got shot by a gun, so I want to kick your fucking ass.
I mean, you don't bring up the violence part, and that was the problem. I tried to have a debate, tried to actually get talk over Facebook, like actually have a discussion.
But if you're every you can still talk about the violence and still have an education.
Well, he didn't. Every time I threw out questions,
debate.
Every time I threw out questions, every time I tried to question this, that, and everything else, and try to bring up the fact, well, one, I wasn't talking about his would be niece because it's his sister's child. Never once did I try to enforce violence. Did I say, oh, you should die, anything like that? But he constantly, every single time I try to throw something back out there and try to make a point, would come back, oh, I hope you choke, I hope you die, you're going to be breathing out, or you're going to be eating out of a tube and breathing out of a tube if I see you, and all this other stuff. So he literally threatened me over Facebook. Did I do anything about it? Nah, fuck him. I don't see him enough, and trust me, I know where he works and I know what he does, and
But still, it's just a simple fact that that's still inciting. He's
inciting the fight and the violence. Yeah, exactly. And again, what I said was political. Yes, I used the word retard. I'm sorry, I use all words. I've once said the N-word. Brett knows this because he was with me.
I've said it several times. I've said nigger, honky, spick, wop, everything. I don't care because they're
words.
Sometimes do this. Now, if you take it to the offense of what
it's
it is,
the context.
If I've said it in a derogatory way, usually when you say it, it is in a derogatory way. But yet I am still not going to judge somebody else for saying something in a derogatory way when I do it myself. Like I said again, glass houses. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think about all the stuff that you might not have done. Everything that you might have said that could have been offensive.
Everybody at one point has probably said something towards another race or person or something that was belittling, was, I hate using the word bullyish because...
Okay, let me give you an example.
Bully's an issue.
I have an example real quick. Yeah. This lady asked me, she was like, okay, so this lady's supposed to be, whatever. She was like, well, I don't agree with mixed relationships, mixed marriages. And she said, you know why? It's because the kids are the ones that suffer.
But no,
So is that a racist remark or is that just her opinion?
it's her opinion. Because
So should I get mad because I have mixed race children?
Honestly, you can't get mad at somebody's opinion.
Exactly.
You can't. I mean, everybody has opinion, just like an asshole. It all
Yeah.
stinks sometimes.
If she walks up to my kid and spits in her face and says something to you because you're a mixed child or
Yes,
something like that,
that's different.
that's different. Those are things you can do.
But she's
You
looking
have
at
to
the
learn to
outside
turn the other
box.
cheek.
She's looking at what this child's going to have to go through in certain cultures. Now, 15, 20 years ago,
Do you know that the main thing that person is saying that they're worried about, those are the
is
only,
is the
she's the only
protection.
person.
Yeah.
Wait, she's the only person we have to worry about. People like her that
Yeah.
are thinking that are not seeing people as individuals and people
No.
and just seeing them
They're
as a
seeing
race
them as
or
a
a mixed
race.
race and things like that. And
I
just
like
seeing
the,
it, you know what I
again.
mean?
I've
It's
said this
wrong.
before, and I'll say it again. There is like yes, we categorize ourselves into groups: black, white, Hispanic, Japanese, Germans.
We've been categorized. We don't categorize.
Oh, but people do still. Like the first time you meet somebody, you
That can
tell
change,
them-
though.
It can, and the reason and the way it can change is kind of what we're doing here. Needs to be discussed. Needs to be
Exactly.
talked about. Needs to be brought out there. Now, people have a hard time with it because they don't like discussing or talking or have a hard time. Well, I'll bring this point up. I had dinner with my girlfriend's parents. Her mom and dad left. And from what I got back, because I'm like, oh, well, what'd they think? Yeah. I made her mom feel uncomfortable. Why? Because I talked about beer and alcohol. She felt uncomfortable talking about beer and alcohol.
But see, in her defense, I can imagine with
I
the
didn't know.
conversation.
No, I was
but
no.
Even when you do
My
notice that,
my
you still
defense
don't.
is A, I didn't notice that, and B, I was talking to her about my trip to Germany. At least a third of that had to do with beer and alcohol.
Did you know from your girlfriend or her parents felt that way about beer and alcohol?
I did not.
Okay, so that's her
No.
fault for not telling you.
Well, but
But did you notice that her mom was getting uncomfortable?
a little bit.
Did you stop?
Oh, but
No. Did you stop? Or did you keep on doing like you
But-
normally doing, proving your point and talking? Which made her feel uncomfortable.
Can I speak real
Correct.
quick? I did not know she was uncomfortable because she interacted with me back over the issues. Okay,
But by her demeanor and the words she
a
said
little,
back, did
little
you know?
bit, but she wouldn't take over the conversation. So I was just trying. This is literally the first time I've met her parents. So I'm not just trying to make a first impression. I'm
But
trying to
you
keep the
won't
conversation, but I'm trying to keep the conversation going.
But
And-
you
and it
didn't
had
back off.
Well, but it didn't. I didn't realize she didn't like the subject at
You
all.
did. You could tell by the way she was saying things.
Honestly, no, because
Listen, okay, first of all, if somebody does not like the conversation that you're having, you're going to tell because they're going to debate you about it. They're going to say things about it. Right then, you're going to know their opinion
She wasn't
about it.
saying stuff. She was just
Was she saying, oh, yeah, I'd like to drink in Germany? Oh, yeah, I'd like to do this? Or was she saying, I don't think drink? Or was she
no,
just being
nothing.
quiet?
She was being a little quiet, looking at my pictures and listening to what I was saying.
Right.
So she was respectful on that. Did I know she had an issue with it? And it's not a full issue because we've talked about this, and even my girlfriend said her mom's a little closed-minded when it comes to things.
So is her boyfriend.
No, my mind's way open. I'll talk about anything and put it out there. I might take the side less taken just to push the conversation, just to get the conversation rolling. Because
And she felt uncomfortable.
well, but I didn't realize that not till afterwards.
Exactly.
So and the
So
thing
then
was,
what is the problem, though?
but here's the thing: I wasn't drinking that night. I thought about it. I thought about bringing a few beers
So
over.
it was
and
in
having
front of
a
her.
beer.
It's fine.
Yeah, I wasn't drinking in front of her. I was just telling her about my trip,
Right.
and I was showing pictures, and here's one of the beers
Right.
I drank, stuff like this.
Right.
But I didn't realize topics like that made her uncomfortable. I'm like, well, maybe you need to talk about it a little bit more. But family issues that I don't know yet. Her dad used to drink. I mean, so I can see why she might and stuff like that. So obviously that's
If you
a
can I
topic
ask you a
that.
question real quick?
Yeah,
Real quick,
well,
and this is for us, just because
but-
me knowing him, so you guys might not. But I want to ask you a question personally.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever, just
Stop and
honestly,
thought about
besides
what
me,
other people think.
and just respected somebody else's opinion without putting yours out there?
Have I ever?
Besides me and your parents?
Have I ever?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
When?
Couple times when I'm sitting at the bar talking to people. I can read them sometimes. Or I'll just stay away from topics because of just the fact I don't know who they are and stuff like that. So,
Right.
so I'll stray away from certain topics and stuff like that. Now, if they bring it up, game
So
on.
what made
Game
you
on.
at some point, besides showing a picture of the conversation, decide to talk about the drinking, which is obviously.
I was just talking about my trip to Germany. And it just happened to flip through the pictures and stuff like that. So it was just my trip to Germany.
So
I was
over one
talking about.
picture, she couldn't get mad. That was that. Over two, but then
Two.
what
That
you
was
said,
pretty much it.
But there was more of a conversation because I know you
Well,
over
just-
the drinking, and
No,
it's cheaper there,
actually,
and it's better there, and blah blah blah. I know you, and you went on about the drinking.
I think, but I think Brett kind of just hit the point. I talked about the economy and stuff like that, which alcohol over there, fucking hell of a lot cheaper, a lot better too. But again,
just like right now, see, that's your.
But
you
I
throw your
didn't-
opinion in there.
well, yeah, I always do. Always gotta throw your opinion in there.
But why, when you're with
But
the
I didn't
girl's
realize-
parents that you're
but-
trying to be with, why wouldn't you
Oh.
just listen instead of talk?
Because they were quiet and didn't really talk.
So then let it be a quiet night.
I don't like that.
It doesn't matter what you like.
I know. I don't like that.
Then come up with a different thing. How's the
Well,
weather?
no, we talked about other
Tomatoes.
things. No, we talked about other things.
I
We
took
talked-
your granddaughter to the thing.
No,
I can't think about how
we,
she's
we've
learning.
talked about that. We talked about some of the books. I had an issue. Actually, I was kind of. She was a little didn't like a conversation. Well, her mom was a teacher, retired this year.
Right. Who are underpaid and underappreciated.
Pretty,
I'm sorry.
Pretty much they are. No, they are. They have to put up with so much stuff, so much crap. Kids. Trust me, if I was a teacher, be fired within the first week because I'd end up smacking or doing something to some kid because he acts up and doesn't listen and anything
Well, I'm
like
glad
that.
you're not in the education.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll educate. I just don't. I'll educate one-on-one or a small group, but having to deal with 20 or 30 kids at a time for an hour where you can keep some of them at bay, but others are going to go do their own thing and not listen.
Really?
Oh.
So how impressive is it that
I
people
know.
can do that? You know what I mean?
It
Everybody
is.
says it's not.
It is. Oh, God. They are way underpaid. They are way underpaid and underappreciated. Now, and what's funny is a lot of parents, now I know Brett and his wife are not one of these parents. Because of how I love the way Brett raises his children. I love it. I have no children, so again, my opinion's kind of what I've been told is mute.
No, only because on discipline, lifestyle, and things like that.
Oh, not just that, but the way he interacts with the school, the way he goes up there and finds out about stuff, the way he goes and eats lunch with his child when he can. There's plenty of parents out there, and I understand a lot can't because a lot of them have their schedule set up so when the kids are at school, they're at work. I understand that. I fully understand that because it makes it easier for when the kids are off. You don't have to pay somebody else, which is highly expensive, to watch over your kids. So when they're at school, you're at work, you get off work, they
And we're
get off
still
work.
not paying our teachers for childcare, which they're doing.
No, not at all. But say, and nowadays it's never the kid's fault when they don't perform good in school. It's teacher's fault. Sometimes it's your little shit's fault because he ain't paying the fucking
Sometimes you're a
attention.
little fucking stupid and they
And
don't-
sometimes it's your fault for
not following through with things at home and
being there.
right.
I mean, yeah, the teachers are not the people that need to be teaching your kids about life, teaching your kids about things. They're supposed to give them ideas, and teach them about basic stuff, not some things that unfortunately a lot of parents think, well, that should be a teacher's job. No, actually, it probably shouldn't. It should be your fucking job. It should be your job to teach manners to your child, not the school. It should be your job to teach your kid how to interact socially with others. Now, yeah, they're gonna learn. It's hard to interact socially when you're out and everything else. Actually, when you get good at it and you get older, it's actually quite fun and quite easy. But people don't know how to do that. They don't know how to act socially anymore. But the morals and the teachings of 30, 40 years ago have disappeared with this technology age that me and Brett are kind of thriving on right now, because hell, 20, 30 years ago you could do something like this, but it would have cost a hell of a lot more than what we're doing right now. I can tell you that much. Wouldn't even have come close. Again, I was in computers and media. I know how much it cost back in the day to do stuff. The reason I got out of it was I saw where it went, and now anybody with a cell phone can edit, produce, and film their own shit. So what was my job supposed to be if I would have got my degree, and now everybody with a cell phone has at their fingertips the same stuff I went to school for a couple years, 4 years plus, to learn how to do? I mean, I just saw it. Back then, late 90s, early 2000s, you didn't have that access at your fingertips. So you had to know computers, you had to know software, you had to know that. Now they've dummied down software where anybody can be a photographer. I mean, I know probably 30 some different people that supposedly own a photography company here in
yeah, but that's not the same thing, because you can always take a picture, but it's catching that right moment of a picture.
Well,
so it's not.
I can do that with my one picture, which I might post on our Facebook page about my friend's backyard. I was at the right point at the right time, which made a beautiful photo. I just happened to be smoking a cigarette at 6 a.m. in the morning while everybody else was sleeping, and saw sunrise over in Germany that just captured his backyard beautifully. And I took it all with my cell phone, because my cell phone had such great camera ability and stuff like that. Before, you used to have to, even with film, take the photo, look at it. Obviously, there's some stuff, so put it in the computer. That's just
advancement in technology, man.
But that's the thing. Our advancement in technology is running so fast that I don't think humans are catching up with it fast enough. They're not keeping up with it fast enough. It's running away while we leave people behind, not understanding what's going on.
That's why it's called technology, man. It keeps moving ahead. You know what I mean? It keeps moving. You're learning things. You're doing different things.
Oh yeah. I mean, technology is always being creative.
Not everybody's gonna know what to do with the next computer and this and the phones that come out and shit like that.
Never.
But it's just about, you know.
Even
what I
though
mean?
the phones haven't changed in the last 10 years.
Adapting to them, you know. Yeah, you got different apps on the phone.
Just apps, but the phones still work the same.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, the phones are the same, look the same, and people are paying $400, $500 for these things that are the same as 4 or 5 years ago. They're just a newer model with updated features. Well, okay, whatever.
Exactly.
I still use a phone from 8 years ago as basically turning my TV into a smart TV in my house, so I never actually have to have a smart TV.
But you still have your phone.
I know. Okay. Well, that was a good conversation, Brett. That was very good. We talked about the First Amendment, and we enacted our right to talk about it. We're going to take a small break here. You want to?
Donald Trump sucks.
Big, fat cock. Anyway, that was towards Donald Trump. All political.
Yep.
We can talk about other political people too, but Trump's the easy target right now because he's president. Every president's the easy target, no matter who's in office. Is his job easy? Fuck no. Do I want it one day? I'm still in the air for, maybe. But I want to be my vice president if I run, Brett.
I'm going to be the sergeant at arms.
You'll be the head of security.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, we're going to take a break.
White House is on lockdown.
Yeah, we're going to take a break here real quick and come back. And I think we're going to get into religion for a few minutes, Brett. You want to go with that? And then we might call it a day, figure out what we want to talk about next time here in a week or so, and then come back to you then. Thanks, folks, for listening. We'll be right back. happens. But we're back, folks. We're going to touch on a very hard subject to talk about. We're only going to do about 10, 15 minutes here, and we're going to call it a night on our own behalf because we discussed this topic. It's one that's, for the most part, you really cannot talk about. I mean, you can, and when you are, you're pushing it, you're peddling it, you're trying to say yours is the best. And when I mean about that, and is religion, and not just religion, but phrases that might offend other religions, or this religion or that religion, phrases that have become mainstream in our society, and a phrase that I think Brett came up with a good little saying, because when you talk about religion, most people are some form of Christianity. Usually. Not saying you are, and I hope some Muslims listen to us, and I hope some Buddhists listen to us, and I hope some I don't know what other religions do we got.
Jehovah's Witness.
Jehovah's Witnesses. Hell, Scientologists can listen to us. They might not like what we say, and nor will I ever join your cult. Oh, did I call it that? Damn it, they're gonna be knocking on my door next. Fuck. But when it comes to religion, it literally, and I think Brett will agree with me on this, it's all personal choice. And that's all it comes down to, is personal choice. Now, a lot of times it's what you grew up around, what your parents pushed you towards. I mean, I went to church every Sunday, was in a choir, and did Sunday school, and went up through and learned, and had some teachers, and would teach me stuff in Sunday school, and as I got older and everything. But my parents, and I love my parents for this, gave me a freedom to choose. They didn't say I had to go. They didn't have to go. My mother is very...
Well, you would think most people's parental beliefs are instilled in the child.
Yeah, well, yeah, because that's how you grow up. You see it, you go with your parents during that thing, and you're taught that. Now, me and my mom have had some very deep religious conversations. She goes to Bible study. So, obviously, they read passages, they read sections, they come back and discuss it. I mean, that's the whole point of Bible study. And I'm actually happy that she does this, because me and her have talked about certain things, and she allows me to speak freely like I normally do. I mean, maybe that's my fault. My parents let me do what I do too much sometimes, Brett, where I actually enjoy this because of the freedom that it gives me to say what I want sometimes, and not think. Sometimes maybe I should think.
You should always think about your words.
Sometimes my mouth works faster than my brain.
Choose your words wisely, because they can be offensive, or they can be heartfelt, or they can be...
Well, and that doesn't make any sense of what I just said. My mouth works faster than my brain. My mouth...
It does make sense. I said
my brain controls my mouth. It just doesn't filter it. It goes from the idea straight out the mouth. It's hard to explain. Trust me.
That makes you a sociopath.
Maybe it does. I've
been watching Criminal Minds.
I'll have to look that up. I don't believe I'm a sociopath, but
most sociopaths don't. We're talking about, I don't think that I have
and I'm gonna say I don't believe in any religion or any higher power. Period. That's the way I believe. But I also believe, by believing that, which is kind of weird, I give myself my own little set of beliefs and everything else that's different, and kind of, I mean, some coincide with Christianity, some coincide with Buddhism, some coincide with Scientology. And
do you ever fearful? Have you ever fearful that you're wrong though? What if your mother and father are so beliefs in their beliefs and instilled them, and that's what they believe in, and then you don't,
what
and then they
happens
go
if
to
I'm
heaven
wrong?
and you don't? Yeah, what happens if you're wrong?
Well, from what I believe, it doesn't matter because I don't believe in a heaven or hell.
But your parents do.
Okay, that's fine.
So what if their belief is right and yours is wrong?
But what's that do?
It gives you.
What's that do though? So
it
my
gives you
parents died.
torment. Why wouldn't you want to be in heaven with them?
So wait, stop.
Would you want to be in heaven with them?
Here's where the debate comes in, folks, because this is where my beliefs kind of pick apart other religions when we talk about certain topics.
You can pick apart anything.
Oh,
it's all
everything.
about belief. Religion is all about
I know it
belief.
is.
It's not
Okay.
about fact. It's
Okay.
about belief.
Okay.
You can debate anything with religion, but it's about belief and it's about trust and your belief. If you believe in it,
Yeah.
then nobody can tell you they're wrong. If people want
No.
to debate with you, it doesn't really matter because that's your belief. Just like your belief in saying whatever you want to say.
Well,
It's your belief. You shouldn't debate people
exactly.
about their belief.
And
and wouldn't.
I don't. Do I ever tell you you're wrong about the beliefs that you believe in when it comes to that, Brett?
No, you just say that you don't believe the same thing.
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
debate with it. You debate.
That's
on
fine,
why
but I
something
don't tell you to
does.
change your view. I don't tell you that you're wrong and that you're stupid for believing what you believe. I don't say any of that because everybody's going to have a different belief structure. And we're going to come back to the words and everything, but I say a phrase that I get a lot of criticism over. Go figure, right, people? I say something that some people don't like. Correct, Brett? All the time. But I use the phrase, God damn it. Brett doesn't like that saying. Now, does he stop me from saying it? No, because that's his...
I don't not like this.
Well, but I'm saying you came up with a new phrase that is, I want to say more
Okay, well, everybody says
socially acceptable.
Everybody always says
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, and everybody says God damn it. You know, Jesus fucking Christ, whatever. You know,
and people don't like using the Lord's
if you're
name in
Catholic,
vain.
you know, if you're Catholic, isn't there like the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost? Why is he left out? Why can't we say Holy Ghost shit? And when somebody does something, be like, oh, Holy Ghost shit.
Yeah,
Oh my Holy Ghost.
yeah. And what's funny is I think people will accept that a little bit more than
But that's
Then
still just as
God
bad as
damn it.
saying Jesus Christ or God damn it, because they're all one and the same. The Father, the Son, and the
So,
Holy Spirit is one entity.
yeah, but
Depends on your belief.
Holy Ghost shit has a little more
Because people don't look at it as bad because it's not Jesus Christ or God.
Well, I mean, if we start using it as much as we use Jesus Christ and God damn it, it might become that stereotype with all that. But hell, let's go, folks. Let's see if we can push this new phrase, Holy Ghost shit. Let's get her out there. Let's use it. Let's use that as a phrase.
Little
now.
emojis and shit.
Yeah,
Holy and a little
a
ghost.
little white
pile of
ghost,
shit.
white ghost with a little pile of shit underneath them.
Mhm.
I think we. By the way, this is 6/7 of 17. We are copywriting and taking any credit if the emoji of a ghost with shit comes out anytime within the next half a year to a year. I will be
I
all
called
over,
it.
I will be all over you legally, and I have proof that we said it first. So, and I know it's not out there, so it's not like it's created or anything. Oh, speaking of God and religion, we're smoking weed, like we do every now and then. Brett's choking on it, so that must mean it's good.
From the gods.
And that's
From the God.
It comes straight from the ground, folks. You
Which
don't-
is our God. People don't understand.
Yeah.
That's our Mother Earth is our God.
I
You
mean,
guys are killing
and see,
Donald Trump. Do you realize that when people say, and I just want people to think about this.
and we can
Okay,
talk about this because
please.
it's political. So go
Because,
ahead.
and it's political. Do you realize that Donald Trump is trying to stop and say that there is no global warming, there is nothing that we're doing that is killing the
Okay.
earth, that there's none of this stuff, okay? Okay, so look.
I agree with that.
People
but
look at this. Now look at it from a different era, okay, you guys? Please just look at it like this. We are born from and go to the earth when we die. We get everything that we have. Our life, we feel better when the sun shines. Everything grows when the sun shines. We get nature from the rain. Our body is made up of what? I don't know how many percentage of water.
90.
We are 90% of water. We
Mhm.
are a part of the earth. We come from, we go back to. Simple as that. Okay, so and the sun that we love to stand up in and shine in and be bathed in and stuff like that
It's bad for
is
you.
our God. Listen, so
Cancerous.
they say that an Antichrist, right? Look at this, you guys. Donald Trump's trying to stop us from healing our
Mhm.
Mother Earth, our God. right? What would the Antichrist do? But try to stop us from believing that we're hurting our Creator, our creation, the one that made us, the one that we are to try to believe in, the one that we're trying to keep green, the one that we're trying to stop forests from being taken over, the one that we're trying to stop litter, the one that we're trying to get our rivers better, the one we're trying to do all this stuff. The man who is running our country and helping us, who is supposed to care for us and care for us,
he doesn't give a shit about you.
Is actually more than the wars and everything else that's been going on for years. We have come to a point where United Nations and countries that we're not even thinking are understanding that we do have a problem with global warming and what we're doing and things like that. And it's a problem. It is. I don't care what they say. The ice caps are everything's happening.
That's fine.
Do you realize that new diseases that are probably been frozen in ice for years are going to come out because
we're
melting the polar ice caps?
And I do. This is the problem I have with that, Brett. We'll bring that segment into light here, probably in the next few shows. But my saying, I love it. The problem with that is, and it's the way, again, you phrase it, the way you put the words in the context that you use. I think of it in two ways. Do I believe in global warming? No. Let me finish real quick. I do, however, if you change that phrase around, believe the globe is warming. Now, do we have an effect on that? Well, yeah, we have an effect on it every single day because of the way we live and the way we've industrialized our planet. We do now, within the last 100 to 150 years, have a way bigger effect than previous time before us in that time frame affected it because of what we've done, what we've created, and how we do it. So, yes, is the globe warming? Are we affecting it with CO2 levels? Are we polluting it and ruining a natural cycle that can sustain our life? Well, fuck yes, we are. Do I believe that the Earth is going to go through a cycle like this anyway because of what it's done over the billions of years that it's been around? Yeah, I do. So some of this stuff I don't always believe that was never going to happen or wouldn't happen if it wasn't our fault. Do I believe, and we're talking about religion here and the fact that I keep using the word believe, even though it has nothing to do with any religion. Do I believe that some of the stuff that are or I wouldn't say bigwigs because Microsoft's engineer Bill Gates actually came out and I can find the audio and video on this where he actually states that we need to bring the CO2 levels in this planet down to zero. Well, folks, I have a problem with that because if you bring the CO2 levels on this planet down to zero, we all die. Every day you breathe out CO2. Every day plants take it in and regenerate the oxygen. Unfortunately, we're putting in more CO2 than what the plants that we've torn down and taken away are able to reproduce right away.
Plants are giving us carbon dioxide.
No, we're giving them carbon dioxide
and
they're giving us oxygen. But we've destroyed so much of that we're on the upside where there's...
Do you realize that you're contradicting yourself?
No, not
yes, you are, because you're saying that you believe.
Oh no,
everything that you're saying that is causing it.
I'm not saying we didn't fuck this up. We have a big role in this.
So that's all they're saying. They're not saying we fucked up the whole world, but we are escalating things that might already happen, but we're escalating them. Do you believe in that?
Yeah.
So that's not right.
But the way
so that's what they're saying. You think it's going to happen anyway, so fuck it if it happens now.
Pretty much.
And that's not right.
Why not? I mean,
Why?
Get through it now. The Earth will heal itself.
Get through it?
The Earth...
We want it to heal ourselves with us on it.
The Earth will purge us if we get too out of control.
Exactly.
So let it purge a little. We've made it through the last purgings. We'll make it through this one.
So force it?
No, I'm not saying force it. I do... honestly, I am very for the green movement and the whole... don't pollute, don't do all that because of the water. And I mean, I grow a garden, I collect rainwater, even though it's illegal in this area.
But still, why do you not believe that it's affecting if you're still?
But I don't believe, and it's not that I don't. I believe the globe is warming and changing. climate is changing. Climate is always changing.
You don't
it's
think
never
that people
it's
are,
never going to be the
so
same.
you don't think that people are
The way they're
helping it?
but the way they're using global warming and climate change is not right. What they're presenting, how they want to change.
So you
it.
don't think that we're breaking the atmosphere from all the pollution and all the factories that we have that were never there
actually,
before?
not anymore. The ozone layer has actually been
You don't think that the
shrinking over the
oil,
last
that the
10 years.
oil spills that are killing out,
Oh,
oil
no.
spills in oceans and stuff like that aren't killing everything
And
doing
it's
damage for
fucking
years.
us because we get
Letting
our,
off bombs in Hiroshima where they can't grow nothing still to this day. It's not affecting.
well, we fuck shit up, Brett. We're good at fucking shit up as a
That's
human
what they're
race.
saying by being
But
naturalist is stop.
not
Let's just
really.
stop.
Well, no, they want to change it in a
So
way.
change it.
No,
Make more
you
clean
wanna,
fuel.
You want to know how they want to, but you want to know how they want to change it?
How?
They want to tax you and me. They want to tax countries, so money wise.
Yeah, to
And-
live better,
no.
to be able to breathe air.
But here's the thing: when it comes to and they want to take CO2 levels to zero, which is fucking, like I just said, impossible. Because if it goes to zero, we all dead. Because
Right.
the plants don't live, and if the plants don't live, we don't live. So their theory behind we need it to a zero level. Actually, no, we need it to a sustained level where what we're producing out is being absorbed in a timely manner to what like an actual cycle, an actually good cycle.
Has anybody ever noticed? Have you ever realized that the more forest and stuff that we've done, the more cancer and shit gets worse? Has anybody ever put those two together at all?
We're fucking ourselves up. It's the pollutants in the air, and plants take out those pollutants too. There are plants that will eat up and neutralize natural radioactivity in the earth. There are plants and foliage and everything that replace your oxygen, give you good sense to live, put off an aroma that's appealing. I mean, we all all love the aloe vera or the purple flower. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Lavender smell and everything like that. They actually, yeah, yeah. It was just something I actually like. Lavender. I like lavender.
Lilacs.
And I have a lilac tree at my house. It just, you go outside and it makes you feel pleasant, makes you feel nice. This is what the earth is. When you tear it down, take rid of it, get rid of it, put grass in its place. I mean, you're not getting that euphoria. Euphoria is probably not the word that I need to use here, but
that's a memory. That's a smell that you get from something you remember. Yeah. That's euphoria.
Well, sometimes if somebody walks out and smells that, they might remember a dead relative or a dead
euphoria.
friend and stuff like that. So maybe euphoria was kind of the right word.
No, it was just a great smell of nature that you.
Well, yeah,
lilac smell. It makes you think of spring.
Or
It's that smell.
onions, or like I have a couple plants. That just put off an aroma. I have sage, dill. I love the smell of dill. Love the smell of fresh dill. I have lavender that grows out of my house, so I get that smell in the air too, and let it grow and everything else.
But I try to put myself in the earth's position. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, that's why I live off of it. That's why I like living off
I'd be
of
like,
it.
you know what? First thing I'm gonna do is put something out there that the bitches get that takes away their titties so they can't feed the babies. Then I'm gonna sit around.
You just went dark on me, Brett. I mean,
the world is not.
We might have
like
to wrap
us.
this up here a minute. I'm gonna let him go and see where this goes, though, because Brett's teetering into he's going to go dark for a minute. No, and it is. I mean, we've messed ourselves up. I mean, we can get on the vaccine trip. Again, it comes down to religion sometimes, because I know there's some religions that don't believe in vaccination. But yet, some of our government wants to force vaccination onto everybody. I have a problem with that. I really do. Now, I'm not saying, and when I get into this debate, all the pro.
It was about religion.
No, it was, but we've gone off subject. It's pretty good. We're at 20 minutes here. I'm going to go another 5 or 6 here and call it a night. And but when it comes to vaccines, and the problem I have when I talk about that is, you're either for or against. I mean, you're one-sided or the other. and I'm not against vaccines themselves. I'm against mandatory vaccination, where you are mandatory to go get an injection of some chemical concoction and trust the people that are putting it into you, the government, the doctors, and stuff like that.
That's
and
just part of life.
But actually trust them on that. Okay, if I know, like, and it comes down to flu vaccine. I've done this. They don't like when I do this, and they don't like when I get the documents for this. But you get the flu vaccine, you can go into Walgreens and anywhere pretty much during the season and get it free. They'll give it to you free. They don't even charge you.
Right,
They're
so
giving it
which
to you
one?
for free.
Right.
But I asked them to give me the paperwork, the FDA documentation on the thing that they're injecting into me. And if you read some of the ingredients, mercury is still in there, folks. I mean, I know a lot of people want to not push that, but it is a preservative they still use in there, and it's in a high dosage too, and a high dosage that could affect your body. Mercury is very poisonous to us. Why would I want to inject that into my body?
But that's your choice to get it when I get the flu.
Right
as
now.
An adult.
Well, but they want to make it mandatory. Period across the board.
No,
Across the board.
it's not gonna happen.
They're pushing it in California. They're pushing it out west. Literally, and this is.
Well, if there's an outbreak, then maybe they should.
Well, but here's the thing, and this is why I push for freedom of choice for the vaccination. If your vaccine works as good as you say it does, why does my unvaccinated body have an issue with your vaccinated body? I might get it. I might have to deal with the symptoms and the disease and everything else, but if you're vaccinated, supposedly it's worked so good that you're not going to get it.
Right.
The problem I have, I've gotten the flu vaccine once. Only once. I was down for 7 days prior because I literally came down with the flu. It is and depending on who you talk to, depends on what story you get. I've talked to nurses and stuff like this. I've read documents. There's two things. They say it's either a dead disease, so it's not a living virus that they put into you, but your body thinks it is, so it gets rid of it. Or it's a watered down version. I'm going to go with the watered down version because why would my body break out? I mean, yeah, because the reason I had the symptoms was because my antibodies were making a defense for the disease. Okay, wonderful. Not really a fan of going through that. I live by, well, shit, if I get it, I get it. At that point, I live
That's
through
not
it.
everybody, though. I ain't never had a problem.
What, the vaccine? Well, nice. But I'd rather choose not to, and then your choice to get it, my choice to not get it. That's why I don't have a problem with vaccines. I have a problem with mandatory vaccines.
Right. Which it is mandatory to go to school to have the vaccine.
Which is another problem I have.
Well, they don't want epidemics being spread. You know what I mean?
But what epidemic, again, if
you don't know. That's why there's not one, because you're getting vaccines.
But
we can end it with that, right?
Yeah, pretty much, folks. We'll bring up the vaccine. We'll bring up the religion. I know we topped off. Brett, you want to say anything before we go here on our
good
second
night. God
episode?
bless everyone.
I guess it's good night and God bless.